Hi there, Create with Kelley crew members. So glad you're tuning in. I'm Kelley Pitts, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Lubbock, Texas, and I can have customers all over the United States, so that's awesome. I love being with Stampin' Up! And I have been a demonstrator since 2005. Hello, Susan. Glad you're watching. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight we're going to do a card featuring a new bundle out of the catalog that I think I've shown y'all before. I just showed you a sneak peek, I think, last week when we did the paper pumpkin card that was a similar shape. It inspired this shape, actually. So we're going to make this card tonight, and I'm going to show you some of the new in colors that will be featured in the new catalog, the new Stampin' Up! Annual catalog that will be live for customers on May 4th. Hi, Tanya. Good to have you here. The catalog, like I said, will be available May 4th, and if you need to get a copy of the catalog and you don't have a demonstrator already and you don't have one, I'll be glad to. Thank you, Susan, for sharing. I do appreciate when you tune in. If you give me a comment and let me know you're watching, that really makes a big difference to me. And also, if you'll share it on your timeline or share it with anybody you feel like would be a crafty friend who might enjoy it, that would be great. But we're going to make this card, and then I'm going to show you another card. We probably won't have time to get to this one. I'm going to hold it up. Let's see if I can do them on each side. Let's see. This one's longer. We'll do this. Hi, Uetta. Glad you're tuning in. Can't really get both of them on screen at one time. My screen's just not big enough. I'll just speak over the top. How about that? Okay, here are the two cards that I just wanted to show you tonight that are out of the new Pansy Patch bundle. And it's a beautiful bundle. It has all of our new in colors in it. And that's kind of why I wanted to feature it tonight, because I will be discussing our new in color club. Every year, Stampin' Up! Brings on 5 new in colors, and then 5 of the previous year's in colors go out. So thank you, Uetta. I appreciate that. Glad y'all like the cards. I just kind of wanted to give a teaser for people as they're tuning in, let you know kind of what we're looking at tonight while I chit-chat with you. But the in color club that I'm going to be discussing tonight is a brand new thing that I've never tried before. So I'm kind of excited about that. I want to let my customers know that instead of, because I'm sure you're going to all fall in love with all these colors. Usually there's a color or two that I'm not that crazy about when it comes out, but it grows on me. But this year, I really like all the colors. I do. I like the way they play with each other, and I like the way they play with others. So that's a fun thing. Here we go. Those are the cards, like I said. And I do want to tell you about my in color club. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera down, I guess. And since it's past time to start, and we'll just let the others catch up. But I am going to explain the in color club has 5 new in colors. And they are Pale Papaya, Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, Fresh Freesia, and Polished Pink. So we have some beautiful colors. All of them were in that pansy paper that you just saw, and that we'll be featuring tonight on that card. But I do want to show you individually what the 5 colors are that are trendy. They're going to be in for 2021 through 2023. So I will be doing an in color club that you can sign up for. And instead of trying to fit your budget around getting all the new colors all at once, since we have so many wonderful coordinating products that go with each color, and that's part of the beauty of Stampin' Up! Is the fact that we have markers and blends and paper and ink and refills and designer series paper, everything that coordinates together. So if you do the in color club, you will get everything that there is to do with that one color, one of the 5 colors each month for 5 months. So it's a pretty simple concept, and I'm going to kind of go over the details with you, but I will show you the colors again in a minute, but and the commitment for that is if you want the whole package with everything there is to do with that color each month, you would make a 5-month commitment for $56 a month. Or if you want it mailed to you, if you're not in Lubbock and can't pick it up off my porch, then it would just be $64 per month, and that would just cover the extra shipping. Now, if you're kind of a paper hoarder, which some of my customers I know are, have a lot of designer series paper, and they just keep it in their little rack because it's too pretty to cut up, and we hope you'll just cut this up and use it because people will love these cards. It's just, they're so bright and cheery. I just love pansies. Always have. So I got excited about this suite, and that's one of the wonderful things about being a demonstrator is we get to pre-order. We get to order everything a month before our customers so that we get to try it out, check out, see what we think, and get to show y'all so that you have an idea of what you might like. By the time you get the catalog, you've already got a wish list going. Love that. And Tanya is one of my paper hoarders. Yes, she is. So one of the ways that instead of getting a whole bunch of paper of one color, if you want more than is just in a multi-pack, which would just be 2 sheets of each color, and we know you want more than 2 sheets, you could do the half of the In Color Club that is half the paper please option. So I have an I want it all option and a half the paper please. And that way you don't collect quite so much of the paper, but you have a good variety to work with. And then you still get all the ink pad refill, marker, blends, everything that's not consumable. You'll get just like you would in the full I Want It All package. So I'm going to show you those colors one at a time, and then I'll tell you a little bit more at the end. We also have a special coming up. Speaking of being a part of my team, I'm so glad to have some team members on the call tonight. And anybody who is interested in the new catalog and falls in love with it and decides, whoo, I need a discount, then I'd love to talk to you about joining my team. You don't have to sell the products. You can just actually use it yourself, place the orders yourself, and still get the discount. So, and then if you ever decide to build your business, I'll work with you on that. I'd love to have you on my team. And from the 4th of May through the 31st of May, we're going to have a joining special where you sign up for $99 worth of supplies. That's what you get in your kit, and you get to choose your kit. And then you'll get $155 worth of, no, $155 worth of supplies for $99. It's a no-brainer, peeps. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end, but right now I'm going to go ahead and show you the cards one more time, so if anybody new is tuning in, and then we'll turn the camera down. This is one of the pansy cards, and here's the other pansy card that we're going to look at tonight. We'll probably just make the one. Okay, so glad you tuned in, and I'll show you more in just a moment. Let me get all situated here, and I'll tune you down. Yes, Tanya, that's a good point. You do get free shipping when you sign up to be a demonstrator also. That's part of the deal. So that is awesome. I will turn this down and we will get going. Bear with me a minute here. I'm still here. Hope y'all are still here too. Just got to get situated. Hopefully we're close here. Let's see where we are. Okay, come a little further down. Alrighty, I think we're kind of in the neighborhood of where we ought to be. Okay, here's that pansy card we're going to do in a few minutes. And I'm going to show you the in colors. And we're going to kind of do this one by one. This is the Pale Papaya, but I want to introduce you to it since you're going to be excited about it. We've got 2 different kinds of ribbon. The Pale Papaya comes in a nice woven ribbon, as well as the sheer ribbon like the other 4 colors do. But this one was a special one, and I decided I just had to have that. So this is the Pale Papaya, and you've got the Stampin' Up marker in that color. And this has a bullet point and a brush tip, just like all the markers do. And this is a water-based, just like a dye ink, just like our ink pads are, water-based dye ink. And then we have the set, the combination, the pale papaya and the dark papaya, pale papaya. And those are the alcohol markers, and they do a beautiful job at blending. Then you can get the pale papaya ink pad and the coordinating refill, which I've already stuck my little sticker on, so I don't lose it somewhere. But that's the colors. So 1 month, and we don't know which month is which, you will get, and I'm not sure how true this color is. It's kind of a light apricot-y, kind of between an apricot-y banana-y color. It's beautiful. And then we do have in-color jewels that I'll hold up for you. Let me hold these up with some white paper so you can see these a little bit better. There you go. Those come in all the colors, and they're very iridescent. They're faceted, so they are just beautiful. So each month you'll get all of these items plus designer series paper that I don't have yet. I will be getting in each of the colors. And you'll also get, there are some gift bags and some shimmer vellum sheets. So with the I Want It All option, and I know this is too small for you to see here, but I will be glad to send you this information if you want to just email me at Kelley, K-E-L-L-E-Y, at createwithkelley.com. Just send me an email there and I will send you all the information about the club. But once again, I have an I Want It All option with where you get 10 different full packages of the jewel, full cardstock package with 24 sheets, a full spool of open weave ribbon, the 6x6 designer series paper. You get 8 sheets of each of those. You get 4 ombre gift bags, and then the shimmer vellum sheets. So I can't show you all those. I don't have those yet, but we'll be able to order them on May 4th. Then if you want the half the paper, please, everything is the same. The pad, the refill, the marker, the blends, the jewels. And then all you do is you half the paper. So you get half of the cardstock package. So you'll get 12 sheets. You'll get half a spool of the ribbon. You'll get 4 sheets each of the designer series paper, 2 each of the ombre gift bags, and the shimmer vellum sheets. You'll get half a package of those. So that'll be 4 sheets cut to 6x6. So that will be each month. You'll get everything in one color. But whenever you make your commitment, it will be for all 5 months. And then it'll just rotate around on who gets what color what month. Let me show you the next color. Next, we have Soft Succulent. Hopefully you can see all of these. So you'll get the beautiful paper, the ribbon. This is the other ribbon. The Pale Papaya comes in this ribbon also. Hopefully you can kind of see this on camera, how shimmery it is and sheer in the middle. It's got 2 kind of satin lines on the edges, and then it's sheer in the middle. It's just beautiful. So we have all, as I said, the blends, the markers, the refill, the pad, and the beautiful soft succulent paper. It looks just like a cactus, a succulent, any kind of a little succulent cactus would look like. It's a beautiful color. It'll be a great kind of a neutral color. It's really pretty. It's a nice green, different from what we have currently. Then we also have a deeper green. This one is Evening Evergreen. Let me see, my comments have gone away. Just a sec here. I'm going to tune this back in. Give me a moment. Here we go. Hopefully I can see the comments. There we go. Okay. Now let me get them tuned in over here on my computer. I kind of got carried away and wasn't seeing your comments. I want to be able to see which one's your favorite. Yes, the jewels are really pretty. Okay, this is Evening Evergreen, and that's what you'll get 1 month, plus the designer series paper and the ombre gift bags and the shimmer vellum, all in that color. Next, we'll introduce Polished Pink. And it is a bright pink. It's not as bright as the Magenta Madness that we currently have. It's more of a really like a hot pink. It's really pretty. So there's that ribbon. Beautiful, beautiful. And everything that goes with it. And now we have one more color that you could sign up for the In Color Club and get. And that is Fresh Freesia, which is a really pretty color. It's darker than the Purple Posy that we've had in the past and lighter than the Highland Heather that we have. And again, the ribbon is just really, really pretty. I think you're gonna love it. And the jewels, of course, come in that color as they do the other four. So that is so exciting. I love it every year to see what the new in colors are going to be, because I know they'll have designer series paper and all kinds of things that will be beautiful with it. I will move this out of the way. And if anybody has any questions about those, be sure and let me know. If you have a copy of the new catalog, the Pansy Petals Suite that we are working with is on page 29. And if you don't have a catalog, let me know. Yes, these colors are gorgeous, Christy. I love them. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, the Pansy Patch is the stamp set and Pansy dies that coordinate with it. Let me show you those that we're going to use on the card that we're going to make tonight just shortly. Just wanted to show you. I have not even been able to play with all these Pansy dies yet. They're just beautiful, but you can cut out and emboss. The leaves are embossed. The flower itself is embossed, so you can cut it out of solid cardstock and do multicolored layers so that you have the typical pansy look with the multicolored petals that it has. So, and then you have a little bloom also besides the leaves. And then the dies actually cut out the designer series paper that coordinates with this Pansy Patch. Let's see what it's just Pansy Petals. Yes, Pansy Petals designer series paper. And I wanted to show you that it has, and I have done a lot of swaps with this already, and I have cut all of my pansies out. There is one designer series paper, the whole 12 by 12 sheet has these beautiful pansies already on there. And you can either fussy cut those if you don't have a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, if that's still on your wish list. You can just fussy cut these out with scissors or paper snips. But you'll get, once you've cut those out, either with the dies, and you just line up the die with the pansy and cut it out, easy, easy. Or, and then you'll get this look. Isn't that beautiful? They are just gorgeous. And then there's a sheet of paper also that has the leaves on it. It's a full sheet of the leaves that has the evening evergreen and the soft succulent colored leaves. And you can cut those out with your scissors, or you can use the dies. And then the dies also cut out the stamp set. And they have changed the stamp sets up. Stampin' Up is always making improvements and listening to demonstrators and customers who let them know what we would like. And this makes a lot of sense to me from Stampin' Up, and to put this on the inside of the cover, to put the printed image on the inside of the cover instead of printing it on these. I'm sure it's less expensive for Stampin' Up to do that for them, and it's really handier for us, because you can either leave this on the sheets like you get them that have the two-part, that one is just a top layer and a bottom layer. You can see through to make sure you're not missing any stamps before you put them up, or you can actually peel off these stamps, the photopolymer stamps, and stick them on here, and then you'll be able to see exactly which stamps you're missing. So whichever way you want to do that, it's totally up to you. But you have this option, which I think is great to have that inside there. So you can stamp all kinds of pansy parts here, the small ones and the large ones, and the two-tone leaves. It's just beautiful. And it has nice sentiments also that I'll show you tonight. One of these is a little hello from me to you. Happy birthday, thank you, love you much. The little things you do makes such a big difference. And wishing you a little extra happiness just because you're you. Isn't that lovely? Who wouldn't want to get a card with that on there? Hi, Uetta. Sorry you have to run, but glad you tuned in for a minute there. Hi, Patty. Glad you're tuning in. Okay, so that's the pansy patch and the pansy dies. And when you buy those two together, you will get the bundle price of 10% off. Or if you go ahead and buy the whole suite, which is what I did because I had to have everything that went with it, the designer series paper and everything, then the 10% still applies to the bundle part. But I thought I would show you the designer series paper before we get started with the making the card. We've got, let's see, this is the front and back of one of the pages. So there's a lot of gingham in there, gingham and floral. And I'm trying to get this where you can really see the detail there. They are just gorgeous. And then here's the front and back of this sheet. Right here. Make the gingham a little bit bigger for you. Okay. And then the leaf sheet, I've already cut out one entire sheet, so I didn't have the back to show you, but there you go. That's the green gingham. And then, of course, the pansy sheets that I've already cut totally to pieces, both 12 by 12. Well, actually, I think 4 12 by 12 sheets. And then it has this lovely color on the back with the polka dots that you can use as an accent. So that's all the designer series paper except for the pansies that I have here. And I don't think I have a full sheet of it left either. This is this side, and then here's this side, which I think would be a really cute coordinating little piece that we're going to put on the inside of the card. I'm going to let y'all decide. I've got a couple of different choices, a gingham one versus this one. So we'll let y'all try that. But if you have any questions, I'm always available to answer your call about Stampin' Up. You can email me or Facebook message me, whatever works for you would be great. I'm happy to help. I'm going to move those out of the way. And if y'all wanted that item number on the Pansy Petals Suite, it is 155810. And the entire suite is $70.25. Or if you want just the Pansy Patch bundle with the Pansy Patch stamp set and the pansy dies, it's $51.25. So you can save 10% that way. And if you buy the whole suite, I will give you a card kit to make at least 3 cards. So I'll send you those whenever you're able to order on May 4th. And if you would use my host code, I would really appreciate that. That helps me a lot to be able to offer free items in my classes or things that I don't have to charge for. Looks like I have a mess on my mat here. Need the cleanup crew in, which is me. But I'd rather craft than clean. How about y'all? Anybody? Thanks, Andrea. Glad you're joining. Okay. Once again, here are the 2 cards. I'm going to get everything together for this one and show you how this works. It's easy peasy. Okay. I am using, in addition to the Pansy Patch Suite, I'm using dies from the Hippo and Friends, which if y'all watched last week, you had a pretty good idea of this card because I gave you a sneak peek after I did the Paper Pumpkin using this card, one of the alternatives for Paper Pumpkin. So we've got 2 different sizes here out of the Hippo dies, Hippo and Friends, and sorry I kind of took those away quickly, but it has a lot of beautiful layers here, even if you're not interested in the little hippos and unicorns, which are fun if you've got kids or grandkids to do cards. Those are great. But the layering can work with any card of any kind. So I have discovered that I'm using them quite a bit. And I'm also using another set that I just got recently on this card, and that is the Tasteful Labels dies. I'll show you those. And that has all of these that are wonderful for labels, greetings. They are good for accents. They have a couple of different layers that will frame together. And tonight we're just using this one. That's the little arrow, and that's what makes the bright pink on this card, the polished pink. So Tasteful Labels dies, that's 152886 item number, if you're interested in those. And those are already in the current catalog. Okay, let's get going here with our card base. We've got, I'll show you, just in case I have somebody new who hasn't used the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine before. You always, or almost always, make a sandwich with it. And you have I think I've got that card underneath here. I'm going to go ahead and move that out of the way. Sorry you can't see the handle, but you can imagine what I'm doing here, I think. Okay, we're going to cut the hippo die. This is the largest of those dies, and you use your first plate on just about everything. You use it with the thin dies, and then you also use the thin die adapter plate that is number 2, and it has the instructions on here of exactly how to make your sandwich. Then you'll use, for the thin dies, you'll use another clear plate that's a number 3. That's your piece of bread. Here's your meat, here's your cheese, here's your other piece of bread. So now that's your sandwich. And I just try to line the plates up so they go in evenly. And I try to turn everything kind of at an angle, especially if you have a rectangle or a square. If you have a straight edge going into this, it really is like a speed bump and makes it really loud and cracks a lot louder than is necessary. So there we go. Now we're gonna take that back out. I wasn't thinking when I put that long piece of paper in there. So we'll just back it on out. Doesn't hurt a thing. Okay, so that's how you would do both the white and the purple dies. I mean the dies on the purple paper. We'll move that out of the way. I just kind of wanted to show you how that works. It's an incredible machine. And then we're also going to use texture on it. Okay, we're going to, here's my card base. I'm going to show you while we've got this out. We'll make a little switcheroo here on our plates. And we're going to use the number 1 base, as I said, we always use. Then we're going to skip the number 2. We're going to skip the number 3 because we're going to do some texture emboss folders. And it tells you here to insert those hinge first. So we're going to take our texture emboss folder, and this is the Tasteful Textiles folder that we're going to use. And usually most of the folders work with the Stampin' Up logo on top. So we're going to run this through this way. Just wanted to show you how that works. And then I usually put this here. I don't know that it really makes a big difference, but I think it was designed to be this way first because that's the way it shows it on the photo or on the picture on the plate. So we're going to use number 4. It's not a cutting surface. This is just used with embossing folders. So you run this through. There you go. And you get to see what the magic happened. Love it. Love the texture. And we have lots of beautiful texture folders. But here you go. Can you see that on camera, hopefully? Kind of turn that. We've kind of got a delay, so it's hard for me to tell, but it leaves a beautiful texture. And I did not do that on my first card because, like I said, I made 20 of them in a swap. So I was saving 20 steps and not just one when I did that. Okay, there we go. Let's move that down. So if y'all are interested, you can use that host code when you place your order. That certainly keeps me going, helps me build my little small business that I have going here. Okay, we're going to use a little glue. We've got all our pieces cut here. Since I've already explained everything to you on how it works, we're just going to, whoop, don't want to lose a leaf there. Okay, we've got, you can use your Stampin' Seal. I always use my silicone mat for gluing, and it looks like it's got plenty of use here. But the glue will just peel up off of it. You can either wash it off or you can use your fingernail, which I have terrible fingernails. So I usually wash it off, but I didn't before this time. Okay, so all we're gonna do for this card is use our little Stampin' Seal. You could use Stampin' Seal, you can use liquid glue. And when I use the seal, it really takes some practice to get used to it. You really keep this bottom parallel. This part right here should be parallel to your work surface, okay? And then if you'll just not use too much pressure, but enough, and you'll learn by doing it exactly how much pressure that needs to be. So I use my silicone mat so I don't get my work surface all gluey or glue on the card where I don't want it. Just line that up on all 3 sides. And I pull it toward me. Once I get to the end, I rock it, tip it forward, and kind of flick it back towards me. I know different demonstrators do it different ways, but you've got to do something to snap that, to break the connection. Otherwise, when you pull it up and snaps, it will go all over the side. Hi, Jane. Nice to have you watching. Glad you're here. Thanks. Okay, so we're going to line this up on all 3 sides. Simple, simple. So now you have that. We've got the label that you can attach with Stampin' Dimensionals if you want. Let's see where mine are. It seems like those are the ones that are always hiding. I have all my other glues sitting right here. 1 second. Let's see. Hang on for a sec. Y'all just hang on and I'll be right back. See if I can locate some more dimensionals. Those ran away. No worries, I'm back. We had a big fun class, a techniques class on Sunday that my wonderful team member Tanya Cook taught. She took charge of and taught that techniques class, and I think I may still have my dimensionals packed in that. So here we go. I'm going to put that die up before I lose it. See if I can find that pouch again. Okay, we're going to, and this could go flat onto here or you could dimensional it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to look and see where the corners are, so that I make sure I know exactly. So the only thing that hangs over are these points here. So I can put Stampin' Dimensionals behind all 4 of those corners right here. And you can use your Take Your Pick tool if you want. You can take it off with your fingernails if you want. Whatever works for you to get the backings off the dimensionals. I'm going to do one in the... No, I think I'm not going to do one in the middle because I'm going to do that on the white. So I'm going to attach that right there. And then we're going to attach these with glue dots. Here we go. I'm going to put one in each corner here, and you can do this before you put it on there. I just found it was a little easier kind of to line this up this way since I didn't put my dimensionals all the way in. There you can tell kind of what looks straight. So you're attaching the glue dots from the polished pink onto Fresh Freesia, the 2 of the new in colors. And we're putting all of this on an evening evergreen background. And there are a lot of ways. You could use liquid glue, you could use your Stampin' Seal. I just use different glues for different instances, so just kind of whatever works. So we just line those up, and I'm kind of using the grid paper here. You can use the Stampin' Up grid paper or whatever you have to kind of make sure those are straight, and try to get it the same distance from the edge on each side so that that looks balanced. Then we'll take the thank you, and I'm going to stamp that using the Stampin' Pierce mat. We're going to stamp the thank you in the polished pink. Hopefully I'm still on camera there for y'all. Stamp that toward the kind of the bottom quarter of it there. And just straight down, straight up. Try not to wiggle. And you'll get a good image each time. Now I'm going to find my little Stampin' Chamois. Fit hasn't disappeared too. I always find them after the live, right where I've been looking. Okay, then on the inside, we're just going to get a little piece of Whisper White for the inside. I'm going to trim that down. We're going to see what that sample card size was. I think it's, let's see, I did about 2 3/4. 2 3/4 by 4 would be the inside portion. We're going to use the Stampin' Trimmer on that. Let's set my polished pink aside for a minute so I don't get it all over everywhere. But we're going to cut the basic white to 4. And that's the score blade. We're moving it out of the way. And we're going to cut this at 4 by, I believe I said 2 3/4, but I better check myself here. Yes, 2 3/4. Okay, there we go. Stampin' Trimmer is awesome too. We have some great products. Stampin' Up really does everything the right way. They do it high quality, high class, and I like that a lot. I love the coordination of everything. Jane. I'm glad it's your first time watching. Welcome, welcome. We always welcome new folks. I'm not really necessarily great at watching all the comments, but usually I have peeps that are watching out for me. So if you have questions, they can probably answer it for you if I don't see it right away. Okay. We're going to stick with the polished pink on the inside too. And do the little things you do make such a big difference. And I'm just doing that at the top. And again, just line it up kind of using your grid paper. And then we're going to put a little piece of, we're just going to use this right here, or we could use the gingham. This is already close, so we're going to go ahead and cut this. And since this is already close to the width that I would use, I'm just going to cut that with my paper snips instead of getting the trimmer back out for y'all. You could, if you'd rather, you could go ahead and put another pansy strip on the inside, but I think that might be a bit much right there. But you could play with it. You could use the green gingham, you could use the pale papaya, you could use whatever. As long as the colors are repeated in the designer series paper, I think both colors, I might not necessarily use the polished pink with this bumblebee color by itself, but since it's all repeated over here in this paper, to me that ties it in just great. So that's what I would do. We're just going to snip that off. Should do it from the back because you don't want to do just what I just did. Do what I say, not what I do. Have y'all heard that? I should have used the trimmer. Okay, I get it. We're going to snip that off a little bit. And no one will be the wiser if y'all don't tell them. Don't tell on me, okay? That I made a mistake. Let's see, we're going to do a little under 2 3/4 there. Straighten that up. Now we have a nice smooth edge that we would have had if we hadn't tried it with our paper snips. There we go. Get everything back like it should be here. We'll glue that on. Close up this polished pink before I have polished pink everywhere. I should have it on my nails, but I don't have anything there. Okay, we will use our little silicone mat because we've learned that lesson for sure. Not to do that. All right, we're going to stick with our Stampin' Seal. You could use liquid glue, like I said. You could even use glue dots. Whatever works for you. Whatever's your favorite. Okay, we're just going to put a little bit of that at the bottom. And I still have a tiny overhang that I'm going to do from the back, as I should have previously. You can tell a lot better about what you're doing. Okay, now if you want to use your liquid glue, you can use that. You could use seal. Just going to kind of show you a couple of different kinds here. That's some multi-purpose glue. Just try not to get it on your fingers so it's not sticky. Okay, move this out of the way. Here we go. Alrighty. And this would be pretty, I think, if you added a little flower here, if you wanted to. I have already got some cut in the out of the little pack. You know, I told you I die cut everything off of that one big sheet. And we could see how that would work in there. You could do that one. You could do the pink one. We could do a leaf. It might just be a little bit too much with the designer series paper. What do y'all think? Flower, no flower? Anybody? I must have hit my computer here. So glad you're watching, Jane. Thanks, Susan, for letting her know. What do y'all think? Do you like the flower on there, on the inside, too? Anybody? I know it takes a minute to get a response. Jennifer's saying flower. We're going to do flower. Okay, and we're going to add a little wink of Stella to it too. And since this is on the inside of the card and we have a lot of dimensionals here already, let's see, that wouldn't overlap really, but I think it still works flat on the inside. Just needs a little bit there. We'll just put that there, not to overpower it. And then we will use a little bit of Wink of Stella. If y'all don't have a magic glitter brush like the Wink of Stella, I am sad for you. Really am sad. This just, you can't be sad when you have Wink of Stella around. It just makes everything happy. Just adds a little shine, adds a little fun, adds a little glitter. We'll see what y'all think of the inside there of the card. Can you see the little shimmer there on the flower? There we go. Isn't that cute? Okay, now we'll finish the outside and we'll do the same thing there. I bet y'all figured that out already, right? That we were going to try that. Okay, we've got the white label that we've stamped with the thank you, and we'll be adding that with our Stampin' Dimensionals too. And I'm just going to put one on each corner. We don't have to worry about it hanging off here, so we can just put these anywhere. I usually try to put them in the corners if I have something this shape. And you can take your backs off like I did a while ago with fingernails. You can use your take your pick tool. Whatever floats your boat. We'll get that mess out of the way. Okay, I've got my pansy and my leaves right here already. I'll take that off. Don't need that part. Okay. So our thank you is going right here in the center. And I'm not really a center everything kind of gal, really, but on this card I thought I would do that and make it a little more symmetrical. But my team member Tanya suggested that we offset the pansy instead of doing it in the center like that, which I think is pretty too. I think both ways work just great. And if you want a little, whoop, don't tear it that much. Be careful with your bone folder that you don't tear it. But I can show you, you can just bend up the edges, you can bend down the edges. We have another one handy dandy here in the thing, so I'm glad I taught you something. Hopefully. Just barely hang on to it really well, and then you can barely turn up the edges with your bone folder. You could turn them up, you can turn one down, you could cut in between here. I could have done that on here, but you could cut in between here and leave one down, one flat. Let's just try that, shall we? Since we're on the air and I've already ruined one, why not go ahead and give it a try and see what happens. We're going to do this right here. And of course I'm doing it kind of backwards. This is kind of like a, I know a lot of people that are left-handed have that problem. But I think that'll be pretty if we put, we're going to double stack the dimensionals on that part. And then just use regular dimensionals on the other part, and I might even do that flat. I think I'm going to do that with the glue dot. Hope we like this once just had that idea. Okay, we're going to do this. I'm going to turn this up a little bit more. Okay, now we're going to stick these under the sides, so I should have plenty of room to do that. We can decide where we want them. Let's see how we did this one. We'll do it. We kind of stuck that over to the left and then put the leaves on the right. Oh, I like that. Y'all like that with the where it really shows some depth. It pushes that back a little bit. Now we'll go ahead and glue the leaves on. And I like a glue dot for that too, because I don't, well, we'll just use a dimensional. We're going to use just one dimensional on both. You can stick a glue dot underneath here if you want it really, really secure. But I don't really think it's necessary. But we want those leaves raised. So we'll use the dimensional on those. Here we go. And this one, it's kind of like, okay, should it go this way? Should it go this way? I tried it a couple different ways. It just kind of looked upside down that way to me, but I think it's a personal preference kind of thing. So we're going to put those two leaves, and then I have this where that is sticking up. Of course, since we decided to dimensional all this anyway, you know, just go all out with the dimensionals, I say. Why not? And I'll show you that detail a little bit this way by the camera. Let's see if y'all can tell that way the petal is kind of raised up. But there's our thank you card. Isn't that pretty? Oh, we forgot our Wink of Stella. We got a glitter brush. And if you wanted even more definition on the pansy, you could always use some blends and work with that a little bit more, but I think they did a beautiful job on the paper. And I'm kind of not making everything solid. I'm making the dark areas solid and then making streaky stuff in the white for no apparent reason. That's just the way I'm doing it. And we have to give the leaves a little glitter. And I'm just going to do that follow the little lines. It's wonderful when Stampin' Up! Gives us the shading to follow. The artist who designs it gives it to us in the designer series paper or the stamp itself, which I think is just great. And there's that card. How easy is that? So you will get a card kit like this to make a similar card if you order, whoops, I got that a little bit off there. Sorry, peeps. That's the thing. It's a good thing. That's the good news and the bad news about using the liquid glue. It'll give you wiggle room if you need it, but it also wiggles sometimes when you don't want it to. So it's a little bit off right there. I'll have to fix that later. But there's our completed card. And if you don't get the designer series paper, you can always stamp your flowers and you can use some blends to color it like that. But I just thought, oh, that was just beautiful on this designer series paper in the pansy, with the pansy patch and the Pansy Petals Suite. Love it. Hope y'all do too. Okay, let's see what time it is. It's already 8:08. My goodness, time flies when you're having fun. I'm just going to go over kind of how you can make this card instead of making the whole thing. It is really, really simple. And this is a slimline card, so it fits in a normal business envelope. I believe they're number 10. I can't tell you for sure, but they're the typical business size envelope. So it fits in there. You could just get these at the dollar store or whatever. They're not nearly the nice quality of a Stampin' Up! Envelope, the white envelopes that normally fit our cardstock. But it is kind of a different design that's been kind of trendy. You can do the regular slimline or the smaller ones. And this is just using a piece of designer series paper that is, let's see, I cut that 3 1/4. 3 1/4 by 3 1/2. So that worked for that. You might just do a 3 1/2 by 3 1/2 square on your busier pattern, or I think a busier pattern, and then a lighter pattern that goes with it would be about 5 1/2, 5 3/4 to make sure you've got some overlap. You could even do 6. That'd make it easy out of a designer series paper. Just make it 6 by 3 1/2. And then those two just glued down flat, and then I just use coordinating the fresh freesia and the soft succulent here. I just cut a tiny little half-inch piece of the cardstock and use the coordinating ribbon with it. Just wrap it around the cardstock before you adhere it to your base with this glued on it. And then I've got some of the little jewels, and I used the lovely label punch, pick a punch, which I believe is staying in the new catalog. But that's the way to make a little slimline card. I was experimenting earlier and didn't give myself quite enough time to do the whole card. So I thought I would show you kind of what I was thinking that would be a totally different look. But if you use, say, the pale papaya instead of the fresh freesia, you could use the, let's see which paper I was looking at. Thought this was really pretty to use the pale papaya paper with the smaller pattern. I think this would be really pretty. Let's do it like this. Pretend that's our card base. Isn't that pretty? So it'd probably be about that big. Let's measure the slimline card for you in case you just want to get after it and make one. They're 9 inches by, let's see, 3 3/3 folded. So I'm not going to tax my brain. As one of my Stampin' Up peeps said, I'm too pretty to do math. So we're just going to use the ruler, 7.5. So your card base is 9 by 7.5 and then scored in the middle at 3 3/4. So you could use these papers, and you can see how pretty that would be with that pale papaya paper. And then pick up some of the pale papaya ribbon. See if I can make that stay. Look how pretty that would be. You could just use the one and put a bow and then make your little greeting over here. And that would just be lovely. So it has a totally different look because it's so much more subtle than this paper with all the brighter colors in it. But it's equally beautiful. It's actually the same colors. It's just done in a more subtle way. So I think, yes, I do like the pale papaya too, Susan. So y'all will be getting kits for that. Whoever orders the Pansy Suite from me, I will be getting you some PDF tutorials on how to make these cards and a different card. And the card bases and whatever you need to get that. So I'm excited to help you with that. We use some of the little jewels on here also. And then you could just use a basic white insert and either stamp your flowers or use one of the ones in the kit that comes out from the paper. Oh, let's put one of these. I have to see this on here. Let me see if we would want a flower. Before I let you go, I have to play just a little bit more. See, you could put one of the pansies on there. Would not that's just be gorgeous. I'll be making one of those. I don't know about y'all, but I will be. I think that's beautiful. Okay, there we go. Let me switch you back up, and I'll remind you again, we've got some great things coming up starting May 4th. We have a Connect, Craft, and Create Collect that if you decide you would like to be a hostess, I would love to help you with that. We can do a virtual party. We can do an in-person party if y'all are comfortable with that. And we can require masks or mask optional. It's totally up to y'all. And would love to get with you. You actually get more, $25 worth of extra Stampin' Rewards during that month of May. May 4th through the June 14th, you'll get an extra $25 worth if your host total is $250. So that's a fun thing to think about. Would love to hear from you on that. And then again, we talked about if you would like to, if you think you're going to be totally in love with this catalog and need to order a whole bunch of stuff, I'll be glad to help you if you'd like to join my team. And you can get $99 worth of items out of the new catalog for $155. Woohoo! That's awesome. What a deal. It's usually $125 worth and free shipping, and you also get free business supplies. So you just can't beat that deal. And then also wanted to remind you of the Create with Kelley in Color Club that we're doing. If y'all are in love with all those in colors, let me turn the camera down or back up again. Just a sec. If y'all bear with me, I'll turn it back. Here we go. A little too far, a little too high. Let me hold up the colors again. And let's see. If you love all the colors, let's see if we can get it where you can see them all. Soft succulent. Here we go. Hard to peek over all these beautiful colors here. There we go. Polished pink, fresh freesia, pale papaya, soft succulent, and evening evergreen. So if y'all decide to do the In Color Club, you would be making a commitment to join for 5 months, and each month you would get everything to do with one of the in colors. So we will just alternate who gets which one, which month. And of course, I would need 5 people to make that work. But I'd love to chat with you about it. If you haven't gotten an email about it already, a Google form, I would love to send you one and give you some more details, because you'll get free goodies with it from me. Also, you'll get some PDF tutorials with some more cards for this suite using these colors. And you would get, we have the I Want It All option, which is going to be $56 a month if you pick it up on my porch, or $64 if you want me to mail it to you. And that has everything in it, full package of 10 different items, besides a fun additional gift for me. And then if you'd rather just have half the paper, because you're kind of a paper hoarder and you don't want all of the paper, then you could do the half the paper, please, and get 5 of the full items like we had before that are the non-consumable items, I guess you'd call it. And then the other 5 would be half package, the ribbon and all the papers. So I didn't get to show you all the designer series papers that this comes in, because I don't have them yet, but they'll be coming. So I'm excited that you tuned in tonight. Thank you for your support of my Facebook Lives, and thanks for sharing. And encourage people to watch the replay if they missed tonight, and would love for you to subscribe to my blog at createwithkelley.com. And you'll find out news and tips, and I'll have PDF tutorials, and I have different cards posted. I participate in a couple of different blogs with Kylie Bertucci, and a demonstrator training that I'm doing with her, and lots of goodies. So thanks again for tuning in, and please subscribe and join my Create with Kelley crew on the Facebook Live, on my Facebook page. Actually, I've got a Facebook page and a Facebook group for Create with Kelley crew. And then I'm working on my team group also, where I'm going to be sharing tips, especially for my team members. And I'm excited that some of them are on here tonight. Did anybody else have anything I needed to cover before we tune out? Thanks again for tuning in, and fun times ahead. Hope you'll sign up for some of my classes. Just go to my blog and you'll find out when the upcoming classes are for May. Also have an open house coming up on May 15th. So put that on your calendar, and I will email you an invitation to that. So that's going to be at the Wolforth Library. Would love, it's going to be kind of an all-day event. I'm going to send out a little form and see what all we want to do that day. We've got lots of things pending, but I will have a type of buy one, get one sale for some retired product and new product. And then I will have some of the retired items just for sale. I'll have the new catalogs there. You'll get to see all the new in colors in person and connect with a lot of fellow paper crafters. So hope you will join us and find out all the details on my blog at createwithkelley.com. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a good evening. Fun times ahead. Bye-bye. Thanks, Jennifer.